Hello from Yat Dragon's YouTube channel. This is Ji Sifu. Today I want to talk about some basics about your altar's Feng Shui. Okay, so the altar's Feng Shui is actually a very important knowledge right here. I suggest you watch my previous video on the 5 directions energy, because if you don't have that knowledge with you today, you're not going to understand this lecture. And I'm not going to repeat that, okay? So it's a lot of knowledge. First of all, to understand the Feng Shui of your altar, you do not need these, okay? You do not need these at first. These compass are used for more advanced reading, but without those, you can also understand some basics, okay, right here, that will give you at least a very nice foundation on things. Imagine, number one, okay, imagine your altar is like it's like a sun, okay? It gives off light and heat, okay? Heat is the energy. Light is like the light that shines on things and you can see everything is brightened up, okay? Now, this is a metaphor, but you need to understand it like this, okay? Okay, so your altar gives off light and energy, okay? Light and heat. Basically, if you stuck your altar inside a small room, okay? A very small room. Close the door. How do you expect the light and energy to come out and circulate around your house at normal time? Right? It's not possible. Now, if you have, let's say, a big window here and there and here, right? All the window open, all exposed. Energy will also travel through here and expose and go out of the house. So that means you do not keep the energy here very well, right? It's like in the winter, you want to keep the heat inside the house, you close the window, right? So the altar's energy, you want to keep it inside your house, have it nourish your house, help your house, protect your house. You want to have the light and energy be able to circulate around your house. So the first thing is, most people are asking, where should I put my altar? Think about it. Okay, think about this. What do you want your altar to help you with? The best thing is to keep the altar in an exposed and open area of your house. This is the best place, because now you can have the altar's energy and essence, the light and energy, go all around the place and circulate with the maximum coverage. And because that place is where you will be staying the most, so it will be also helping you all the time. If you are at home but the altar is in the other room, okay, then the altar's light and energy cannot get to you all the time. So it will only nourish you and help you and power you up when you go there, right? But at the same time, it will take a long time for things to circulate from that room and out to the other rooms as well. Now, you may think, well, I live in a house. I have 3 stories and such. What can I do? Well, if that's the case, you will want that to be on at somewhere that is more commonly used, such as the ground floor, and places somewhere that is more commonly accessible. Like you will be putting it, somewhere exposed, somewhere that you will be there all the time and you feel comfortable there all the time and it's not all crampy and stuff like that. Make space for the altar. Do not just find a space, because there will always be no space if you want to find one. Let's say your computer, okay? You do not go into a house and see that there is already a space for a computer. You find a space and make it your computer area, right? Same to the altar. When you are having an altar at home, like in the lineage right here, you have an altar. You know that when you have a house, you want to have a place that is perfect for the altar. And you know what to look for, right? Look around. Very simple. You don't want the altar to be near anywhere that will give you turbulence and disturbance. Meaning, big window, big door, and then the wind, when you open it, the wind will whoo, all over the place. Wow, imagine, look, if your altar have some paper on the desk and stuff like that. You open the door, open the window, and it blew everything away. Well, you know, the energy is pretty screwed up. Okay? You want the altar's energy to be calm and also be able to stay longer. It's like, okay, now this is like the heat, right? You want to keep the heat, then you want to avoid wind blowing everywhere. When wind is blowing everywhere, the heat cannot stay. You get the idea? Okay, so you want your altar to be at a location that is calm and free of disturbance of these elements. Also, around the altar, you want there to have enough space around the altar for you to move around, to do things and such. Not only the main altar table, but you may also want some storage area beside the altar so that you can put your, the stocked up candles, incense, some stuff here and there around the altar. You want to have some storage. Now, for the table size of the altar, you do not want a table that's like that tiny. Because if you have a very tiny altar, later on, you will want a bigger table because you need to put a little bit of tools there. And then later on, you want a bigger one. And then eventually, you want to, you see. So you don't want to start small. You want to start at like a normal desk kind of size, right? Then you grow and you have your space to grow. It's like finding a land for your house to be built. You don't want to start by, okay, now I just need 2 rooms. So let's build a tiny house right here. Now I'm going to live inside this house and that's it, right? And then later on, you take down the house and you build a new one. That doesn't make sense, right? You buy a moderate sized piece of land, build the house, and then you keep putting furniture inside the house, right? So you get a nice table to start with and don't mess around. Well, start well and it will grow well. Now for the table, you want a table made of wood, okay? And also, the wood, you want it to be like a 4-leg table. That is the very basic kind of table. You can buy them from IKEA, stuff like that, okay? 4 legs, very simple, okay? No fancy stuff required, okay? 4-leg table. Why? You don't want like one side with drawers, not like the normal writing desk with drawers on the one side right here on the bottom, and then here you have some drawers and such, okay? Because you want the bottom to be all exposed and well balanced as well. Because later on you will have your ground altar there, and this is where like the bottom of the table is what stores the internal energy of your altar all the time. So if the bottom is unbalanced, then it's like inside your body, you are unbalanced. Okay? So you have a very strong whatever here, and then strong whatever here, and then basically it's unbalanced and it won't work well. You want it to be open, balanced, and the table to be like nice and balanced, very, very even. Okay? When everything's even, it's stable. Energy flow is stable, then it's good. Okay? Now you also do not want your altar to be facing a bad direction, meaning like facing some stuff that you don't want the altar to eat, okay, or to interact with. For example, altar facing the washroom, or altar facing whatever, okay, something not good. Okay, you don't want the altar to consume these things. You don't let it face it. Okay, but never use things to block your altar. Okay, it's like, oh, I don't want the altar to see me. Let's block it. Okay, let's put some stuff in front of me and block it. That's not good. Okay, blocking the view of your altar is like trying to block the sun. Then you don't get anything. Okay, so you don't block the view of the altar, right? You want to make it sit somewhere nice, and you can really like have the altar's energy exposed to help you with the house and everything, right? Also, one thing is, around the altar, you want the left and right side, okay, to be the wall and not really like directly. There goes the window, there goes the whatever, okay? It's not good to be like that. Why? Because window and opening stuff to the outside, it will, what we say, leak the energy and leak the light, okay? With the window, the light inside your house is exposed to the outside, right? Very simple. So the same theory goes to your altar's light, meaning the altar's energy. Your altar's energy will also go out. So you want it like the left and right side to have some wall right there, okay, to back it up, like wall, like a mountain right here, so that the energy can stay in a nice circulation like that in front of you. And that is a nice altar setup, okay? If you have all the wind and windows and blowing here, that's not good, okay? It's like very turbulent. So you want to make sure that the altar is placed somewhere like that. You don't want to put the altar inside a very narrow place, stuffed up area, and everywhere is messy and crappy and stuff like that. You don't want that to happen, okay? You want to keep the altar, like most people think about their altar room, but it's not really a good idea unless you really have no choice, because the altar room will make the room very smoky when you burn incense, and it's hard to move around, hard to breathe, and then you will want to open the window, and the wind goes whoosh, and wow, it's so turbulent, right? And then also you will be blaming why the altar didn't help my house on this and that. Well, because the altar cannot circulate the energy good enough. So you want the altar to expose to different places of your house and things like that in order to have it circulate to the important places of your house. Okay, so basically this is how the basic of an altar is like. Now you also do not want the altar to be on the corner of a room. Okay, always give it a flat wall. Why? Well, because a flat wall ensures that the energy coming in, okay, it's a flat, stable energy. If it's in a corner like this, okay, like that, the energy coming in is too sharp, and it's not like it's a combination of two walls right here, right? So one type of energy, and you're like trying to fight, okay? So the energy is hard to really focus into one direction. You want to focus to one direction, you want this to be a flat wall. The altars, okay, as I said in the other lecture, the altar's frame, or whatever you're putting there, the statue, the frame, it's where it draws in the pre-heaven energy from, okay? So if you have a frame like that, you don't want it to be on the corner with a bunch of empty space behind the frame, because the frame is flat, right? If you have a corner, it's like, wow, you have a triangle empty space behind the frame. That is not good, okay? Now you want the frame energy to be flat and sticking to the wall directly, and that way it will be stable. Okay, so basically that's pretty much the simple 101 about how to get your altar started, in like the basic stuff you should look for. Okay, so even you don't measure the direction, measure everything, these are the common sense Feng Shui for your altar, and you will never want the altar to be like squished inside a super crampy storage room or even a cabinet or stuff like that. The altar is something you should be proud of. You should be able to like show it, expose it, and not hide and bury it inside something. If you want to hide and bury, just forget about it. Don't open the altar, okay? You're not ready. Basically, that's what it is. Okay, you're not ready, right? You don't hide that altar. You want to expose it. Okay, so that's it for today, and we'll see you next time. Remember to subscribe, like, and share, and go to our website below to check out our website and blog. Bye bye.